big companies, big amusement parks, well, they're not diverse we expected. Well, why don't we make something different? And welcome to Fairies Dreams Fantasy. And this is the making of Fairies Dreams and Fantasy. And me right there is working on this project for a long time, but me right there had to go back to it because sometimes I had to work. And I'm going to do is to explain to you what I'm actually doing because I can't see, and I'm from my computer's webcam, so um, I'll try to do all that detailed description what I'm actually doing. So please bear with me. So this first episode is focused on the business plan, what I am writing to start my company Fairies Dreams Fantasy, to become an entrepreneur. So I do have a business plan, but I'm going to do is to download it. What I'm going to do is to directly edit it with Google Docs. So I'm going to do is open my browser. So go to my Google Drive. Okay, it's loading right now. I need to ensure I'm at the right folder. I got in my folder. And what I'm doing, I'm reviewing my business plan. Okay, so what I want to do is to download my file. I have to move my file to my documents. I'll create a new folder, business plans, or product lines. Okay. What I'm going to do is open this up. So I just downloaded it to my computer. And I'm using LibreOffice because why I want to do that because I want to ensure I have the following. Now, my website, Fairies Dreams Fantasy, already existed, but that's just a brief one. My website, I just started since 2015, but I started writing content since 2013 and 2014. But I moved my website to a new home because I want to ensure I have more independence with a hosting server where I care about and it cares about the environment. And it's going to be a multi-in-one type of business because it's going to have its own book studio, its own restaurant. It's going to have its own arcade, and also going to have its own in-house department store too. But it's going to be um, divided into multiple categories with various products. So that means it has all of these relevant products. It also has going to have its own built-in grocery store, but it's going to be hand-picked. And it's also going to have its own website, what I just mentioned. So I mentioned books to read, be written via studio, and the ebooks we're going to write is going to be distributed to public libraries, so that will reduce the burden of credit cards and debit cards, so the people right there don't have to pay and pay and pay. And the ebooks we're going to write are going to be DRM free. And 75% of books I'm going to write are going to be licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution License. Now, when you check out a book, when you check out a book via a library, um, that applies in ebook. Well, you can read it instantaneously if you want to, but if you don't like that book, just return it. But I'm going to do ensure I start off with those short stories I'm going to write that's going to be branded with my logo, Fairies Dreams and Fantasy. And with a promise, it's not going to have any sexualized characters ever. So the books are going, what my company's going to provide is going to be written by staff who are independent authors, by a team, and also going to be written by myself. And what I care about is quality as opposed to quantity. And fiction is going to be a primary genre. In order for my studio to work, it must have at least 7. Excuse me. In order for my studio to work, it's going to have at least 75% Linux computers. That's where Microsoft Windows operating systems are not allowed. They're going to use Ubuntu or Debian, and that's it. No Microsoft Windows included unless you're using VirtualBox. We're not going to trademark fictional characters or character names or fictional places or character designs because we're not going to trademark any of the fictional characters. Going to make sure that they're free to use under the Creative Commons Attribution License. No use of profanity included. Now here's the fun part. Now, my company is going to have an arcade. It's, it's going to be a brick and mortar version of an arcade. It's going to have some diverse games and rides for both kids and adults. Why? Because we want the rides to be equal for both kids and adults by having intentionally large rides like this. If you remember kiddie rides, but they're going to be larger, but it's going to have a game that you ride and earn. We play a game. And all the games and rides are going to be sort of our genre. In order for Fairy Streets of Fantasy to have profits that are um, that are low but high quality, it's going to have a merry-go-round, but it's not going to be a main profit driver. But it's going to have both kids and adults who can ride on a merry-go-round. If you ride on a merry-go-round as an adult, you don't have to have kids with you because adult riders is more of a premium because they pay higher than kids can pay. Because you gotta have a higher payment because you want to have adult riders. So, say for example, a merry-go-round for a child right there could cost $1, and for an adult is $2 or more. By using the pay what you want model, because you pay more, not just you support the operator of this ride, you also support maintenance if you're more of a merry-go-round type enthusiast. And VR can be optional, but for some merry-go-rounds, some can be stationary with VR or augmented reality. Um, some of these merry-go-round animals right there are going to be placed on special machines but you don't spin around and around. Just um, on a special machine for augmented reality, but you don't make it look like you're spinning on the merry-go-round, but you go places right there in these virtual worlds. I do have online version arcade, but it's composed of text adventure games. But I'm still working on it, despite being usable. Ads and affiliate links. Ads and affiliate links will keep this online arcade free. However, um, as disclosure, if you click on any links, like affiliate links, you receive a small commission, and of course, you will support this website. But these links are there does not provide any endorsement or affiliation with any merchant. As for about ads, the ads right there are going to be running independently outside the ad network in house with Fairies Dreams Fantasy itself. So back to the arcade, it's going to have a built-in restaurant that's either Japanese, Jamaican, or Italian. And it's also going to have a delivery option useful for people who are bedridden or people who are stuck at home. Or if you prefer to have your food be delivered at home, if you have game nights at night. So the minimum requirements, it needs to have at least $200,000 in financial reserve. It's going to use savings account and 400,000 in checking account and local bank only that supports local communities. For infrastructure, it needs to have high surface area with 9 feet thick walls and high ceilings to accommodate for people who are tall as 7 feet or 8 feet tall or 9 feet. But why I want to do that? Because I want to honor the tallest Chinese women has ever lived. And me right there, I stumbled upon this documentary years ago. And I still remember this lady whatsoever, but I heard about her. And to accommodate for people who are taller, you gotta have a high surface area, and you got to make sure the windows are high enough right there. And the building itself is going to have rounded corners. Ramps for accessibility, so we'll eliminate the staircase. And why this building needs that type of system? Because um, this is necessary to ensure you have more than enough accessibility for people on wheelchairs or mobility scooters. It's going to have mandatory flood protection, although the building itself needs to have a very firm foundation to rest on, but it needs to be built from the inside out. With a box form, we build it from the bottom up in controlled stages. It's going to have mandatory fire protection, fireproof by design. It's going to have mandatory braille signs. It's going to have a dedicated ATM room with at least 4 ATM machines within the ATM room. That is necessary to help keep this place remain decluttered. Thick internal walls for strength. And it's going to have at least 5 stories or 5 floors because it's going to be a big building. It's going to have a mandatory green roof to mitigate cooling costs and heating costs. and it's going to be required to have wind and solar energy. It's going to have no building signs, no smoking signs, and no specking signs at each floor. A player at the arcade needs to earn points like when you earn tickets that you redeem for prizes. You must have at least 30 employees, but you do require at least 12 to 36 months of hands-on training, at least 8 managers to work here, requires 3 months, I mean 36 months of hands-on training, and they need to take extensive training and retake extensive training when necessary. An employee is not a sex offender because we don't want sex offenders right there to lure children in places that aren't familiar. An employee does not condone spanking or any corporal punishment. Religion, family rules, and culture and beliefs are no exceptions. Okay, now the restaurant section of Fairies Dreams Fantasy. As mentioned, it's going to serve Chinese, Japanese, Jamaican, and Italian, but it's also going to serve Chinese too. And we already plan to have caterers or work with existing restaurants right there to have them do heavy lifting. I don't, and it should always have at least 3 black-owned restaurants that could be in their option for Plan B. And it's going to have an outside window for serving customers to an outdoor area of this establishment. If you are walking down the street, or in some cases, you're taking a bus to go places, if you need to stop, get yourself some lunch or anything, because it's going to be a car-free type of this establishment as exclusive. The arcade that's connected is going to be a revenue driver. The restaurant's going to have 2,000 people, so people can dine upstairs or downstairs. It's going to use a large format kitchen with safety in mind. You eat with chopsticks and silverware for accessibility, excluding a knife. So, okay, so go to this right here, the toy product line. Okay, so I want to do is put this heading as heading 2, or in some cases I put okay, heading 2. And then do center it. I'll put this in. You can dine upstairs or downstairs. That enables a restaurant to serve twice as many customers as ordinary restaurants. Now, I do need to ensure a risk plan should be set up. So it should also have the following requirements implemented too. So I'm going to do without including other subsidiaries. Okay, so okay, for plan A, start from scratch. For plan B, work with other of choice. Let them do all of the lifting for this establishment. Now I'm going to put minimum requirements. To ensure this is resistant to possible outside of our the following requirements should be the following. A customer has an to make a payment higher than an amount when ordering food from a menu. For example, for example, customer orders jerk shrimp tacos. That cost $9 or more. Customer pays to break even. To break even. This is necessary to have enough money available to offset to pay tips to the waitress. With adding a plus for or more is as a strategy for to carry as less change as or up to higher amounts. Customer must play at least 2-3 arcade games. Customer must ride at least 4 rides. If a can't ride 8 rides, a substitute is for certain customers. Okay, if a customer can't play arcade games and an alternative must be provided. Now back to pay what you want right there for Fairies Dreams Fantasy. If it has its own restaurant feature right there, or work with our restaurants that are existing, at least 3 black-owned restaurants. By using the strategy pay what you want helps have enough money right there too. So, say for example, Fairies Dreams Fantasy has its own restaurant, and you want to get a Fairies Dreams Fantasy exclusive type of sushi that's made red lionfish. It's going to have a price. Say for example, the price is um $5.99 or more. It's like this. Where I put $5.99 and then plus is or more. That means you can add an amount if you want to. Pay how much amount you want, at least $5.99 or more, or you want to round up to $6. Even if there's taxes, you can always have an option to round up. Option to round up. With a pay what you want feature and rounding up, that enables you to have more um more have more the amount you can go up if you want to support this restaurant. With this feature, that helps reduces all of the financial burden down the road. Or in some cases, you want to buy yourself a drink, say for example, a non-alcoholic beverage like um, some drinks that are not containing chemicals and are additives. Say for example, it costs about $2.99 or more. You can round to $3 or higher. But those are the examples. Or in some cases, if we have an inventory of the food of the main items, someone is going to have the quote name your price. When name your price, you can choose how much you write there too, but it's going to have a recommended amount you can choose between. Say for example, $1.99 or more, or you put name your price for some cheaper items. That enables customers to pay what you want. That applies to customers who played at least 3 arcade games or ride 4 rides. And you meet any of the two of the criteria right there, that means it will reduce all the costs. Okay, so I'll put this all dining must have an act easy to an arcade. Wheelchair is required. No use of natural gas or other fossil fuels included. No use of chemicals and additives included. Two, support Rastafarian communities. So I put this right there for the requirements right here too, because no food shall contain any part of a rodent or or vermin included. Support vegan vegan communities and alike. So it should not have any of those type of things. No such levels var parts per million will be supported. No food item shall have these contaminants at all costs. No use of glue traps included. To support animal who use up these devices. Structural to pass shall be as resistant by 200%. No serving of PBJ included. No sharing of milk included. You are exclusively a lacto vegetarian. All dairy products require to leave a tip for a dairy supplier who only produces dairy via a small scale. Also, no factory farmed dairy products included. Mandatory recycled bins shall be available for both customers and to help mitigate pollution. So, I'm writing down the minimum requirements for a restaurant portion of Fairies Dreams and Fantasy, and why I want to do that because without the minimum requirements, things won't work. And recycle bins are required to help mitigate pollution. I'll go put this. No use of disposable plastics that may harm our ecosystem. No use of plastic dinnerware, ceramic with high quality is mandatory. For abuse prevention must take to help who believed to be abused by parents shall not be abused by any who is trying to hide or of preventing no shall follow the rules of a family that is set by an alleged perpetrator. Be removed at all costs when contacting help. B. To help waitresses serve meals with ease. One. R. Always have an obstacle with an amount to offset tips or support this establishment. For example, verbs 95. A. Patron pays. To break to break to break even by breaking breaking even. Extra money is promptly promptly collected. Okay, so I was writing down my business plan, and I wanted to ensure my establishment to be resilient, because with pay what you want feature that helps establishments have extra money, and that is useful for maybe dealing with swings of inflation or deflation or demand. So I'm going to do is go to right there. Mine shall be bright enough for anyone to see with ease. Also, LED lighting is rep- LED light is mandatory, especially up retro sections of this establishment. Posted disclosure for licensing and Our means for to get more info for any to make a decision to dine at this with ease. All food items must be loaded with a secure format similar to extreme 4 government entities. Rooftop vegetable garden 4 self self-sustaining 1 supply on a difficult all must be diversified as a way to help prevent down the no use of slave labor, child labor, and shops included. For most has an option to their own meal like their own meal. So I have an option to build your own meal. Even with that menu right there, we do build your own. It's going to be inspired by Domino's. So okay, so for example, customer builds a sushi when making an order. Gun free signs must be installed to prevent gun violence. No hidden of any kind. No violence with chips. No families with. Oh, sorry. Language. No families with dictatorships allowed. This to prevent spread of child abuse and art exploitation. If a family ever enters this there are rules shall not be under any way so families with dictatorships is a known problem. That's why child abuse usually comes from these families like this. Okay, so what about for K? So let's see what you put in my business plan and requirements for restaurant area. So what I'm going to do is put, let's see here, food allergies shall be taken very seriously at all costs. Every customer is a customer. Because everybody is a customer. Free lunch and dinner must be done with strategy when revenue goes beyond the establishment's expectations. For for example, customer is to leave a tip of after paying for a with extra. If this is the case, money will be to a savings for the future. Free lunch program will be for the exclusively play games and ride amusement rides. If arcade goes beyond expectations, money is set aside. So what I'm doing now, I'm putting this plan right there too, because if my establishment right there meets as has revenue gone beyond its expectations, it's always have money set aside to the savings account. If can I fix them out? Both a restaurant and has that goes beyond extra money is set aside for the future. Okay, so what I'm about to do is so I'm ensure it's planned out. And I'll add this one right there. This whole add the gift card support is needed for people who use for and so be right there is work with this business plan right there, and I making it more longer because I want to ensure I have requirements implemented because I want to ensure every aspect of my business plan should be detailed. I mentioned about writing books, but I forgot to put in the expectations on this one, so I'll jump back to the top. And the business is going to be 24/7, so um, because it's going 24/7 with employees, you get to have um, the daytime employees, afternoon employees, evening employees, and overnight employees. So I'm going to put the following in. So if book borrow goes beyond expectations, extra must be set must be set aside for the future. I almost forgot. So I almost forgot to put in no rapid mid dishes included. No hair dishes included. No dish that contains any of life morph at all costs. Necessary to support Rastafarian communities. No smoking and use of we do not allow people to smoke cigarettes or use any harmful substances. To be safe and sorry. No designated smoking areas included. So I'm also going to just add the following these requirements right there. Let's see, what should I add? For delivery services, no use of drugs at all, and no consuming no consuming alcohol included. So all delivery must be trucks only. At least two for extra safety. If at any time a delivery person is by a malicious dog, a delivery person must press charges a dog owner immediately. A who is found for to detain her dog at a part of a property, dog owner must be RP as his or dog is impounded or be ordered to detain her dog at a designated part of a property, or a dog is forced to wear a bad dog. And why I want to put all the safety requirements for delivery people, because some people right there who deliver the goods are attacked by aggressive dogs, because some people right there don't have common sense, because people kept training dogs the wrong way, kept training them as guard animals despite having alarm systems, because what owners are wanting is trouble, because I'm writing this down for safety here for delivery options. So why I want to do that? Because I want to ensure safety. Okay, so we right there going to save this business plan right here because I am writing down this business that's more detailed. To help mitigate price price gouging must be reasonable. If these have high quality, high quality must be prioritized. Okay, so that is the restaurant section I'm planning out. And toy product line, that's for later on because it's going to be a primary business. And this is one reason why I want to write this down as a long business plan. And I'm going to discuss about the subsidiary and a toy product line later on when in the series of making a Fairies Dreams Fantasy because what I'm about to do is to save my file. So um, I'm going to do is go to that right there, baby, to tonight or tomorrow, today or tomorrow. So I'll be making this is plan even first. So thanks for coming to Fairies Dreams Fantasy and thanks for coming uh, to see me work my business plan because beware I can't see. And I do have a link down in the description box below if you want to support me. And I use PayPal so I get y'all support. And um, if y'all can't afford to support me, it's okay because Fairy Streets of Fantasy content is free, so y'all can your content all without need to pay. So what I'm about to do is to make a new folder to be ahead of time. So I'll put now name it restaurant menu plan. So I'm going to do is to jump on my file manager. So these for coming. So I'll be back.